Good morning. We are looking at Palm Springs and using the F-15. We're going to take a little different route of flight. Yesterday we flew down here to San Clemente and then along the shoreline, calling out the various beaches along here, Huntington. And back here is John Wayne Airport. Right there used to be Orange County Airport, and that right along in there is Newport Beach is right in there. And then I miscalled coming up here on Palos Verdes. In here I was calling it San Clemente again, and then we hit the beaches along. And here's the Torrance Airport right there. I called out the Long Beach Airport. The LA Harbor, I may have had Long Beach Harbor and LA Harbor mixed up, and Delray, and the marina that was along here. I think there are two marinas along in here. I sailed out of this one to the south, but there's one also up near just to the south of LAX. And anyway, we're gonna take off here. I miscalled. I talked about Frank Sinatra's Learjet. This is over 20 years ago. His mother was in it. Frank was not in it, and it took off, and it hit San Gorgonio in here, and everybody was killed in the Learjet. And then unfortunately, Dean Martin's son was flying, I think, in the Air National Guard. He was flying an F-4 Phantom, and he was also in really bad weather. Both involved weather, and both individuals died right in this. And this goes up to 11,000 feet. There's Big Bear Lake, and there's Big Bear was up in that area for skiing. You can see the snow cap up in that area. So LA does get to have some local skiing, and of course you've seen me going in and out of this Palmdale, the desert out in here, Edwards Air Force Base. The lake beds, Lancaster over in here, the Mojave Desert. That's what I wanted to say. Mojave Desert is a little bit north there. We aren't going to get close to that, but we will get close to this ridge of mountains along in here. San Bernardino Mountains, and San Gorgonio. Gorgonio is right near Palm Springs, right there. Okay, so let's get going and take a look up close. That's the King Air, the Beech King Air. Very popular aircraft. Been flying around since I think the 80s. You had the Queen Air and then the King Air. I think initially they were reciprocating engines, then it turned into a turboprop.
Palm Springs Tower, strike 9er, ready at runway tree 1 left departure to the north.
And we'll
strike 9er, wind calm departure to the north approved.
We'll get the sun up. We'll have the sun behind us, so we'll put the sun in the morning. Say about we can have it at about 11 o'clock. There we go. And then we'll be looking at the mountains. I went over to go to John Wayne. We'll look here at the outside. We went over these mountains to John Wayne Airport, and ultimately landing at Jack Northrop, and that was Hawthorne Airport, where I got my commercial license. Right next to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. And we might be looking at San Gorgonio Peak right there. So let's get going. Take the brakes off and get touring the mountains here. It should take about 15 minutes to get to LA. Head right out for the mountains. Say goodbye to the air traffic controller.
Palm Springs Tower, strike 900 frequency change.
Here's all the windmills, wind turbines. And this is going out through the Banning Pass, and right adjacent to Banning is San Gorgonio Peak, and this is the peak that Sinatra's Lear and Sinatra's Lear and Dean Martin's son in the F-4 Phantom, where they ended up. And we'll switch to the other side. You're heading up for the peak, and you can see how high these mountains. I'm at 8,500 feet, and we're getting up to the top of the mountain there. We're at 10,000. They went up to 11,000 feet. Where they hit up in here, I know not where. We'll go ahead and stop it right there, and just look around a little bit. Yeah, this is the peak right there, 11,000 feet. So it's a lot of mountain there. And looking back at Palm Springs, at the mountain leaving Palm Springs, these are what we went over. And they're at around 8,000 or 9,000 feet. They might get up close to 10,000, but these are the tallest mountains here. And then we're going to be heading for LA. We'll see if we see. Go ahead. See if we see Big Bear Lake. Yeah, that's I think Big Bear Lake right over there. And we're passing the and where the ski runs are, I forget, but I did go skiing one time up in here. Big Bear City, and that's Big Bear Lake right over there. And then we'll get down here and we'll go by Lake Arrowhead. And on that side, of course, is the Mojave Desert, which I couldn't think of for a little while there. A lot of granite down there. And we'll look back down at Manning Pass. It's right back in there. We'll look back at the mountain here, right in there. This could have been the canyon that mentioned a canyon, Wood Canyon area. The crash site was at 9,700. For Dean Martin's plane was at 5,500 level. So it could have been. I don't know where Wood Canyon is. So we'll look down again for Lake Arrowhead. There it is, right there is Lake Arrowhead. Very famous lake up in the San Bernardino Mountains. And then going on over here is Edwards Air Force Base is over there, the dry lake beds. Palmdale is over in there. Then we're going to be heading down into LA. Here's Ontario. We're 24,000 feet. We're going to have to get our nose down. We'll head in on Highway 10. This would be Highway 10 right underneath us here. I think it is. Ontario, the Ontario Speedway was down there, right next to the highway. But there it is. There's the Ontario Motor Speedway. And looking back toward Palm Springs. Looking down at Ontario Airport. Get back down to 12,000 feet. And now we'll get behind. And we'll look along the mountains as we go back into town. San Gabriel Valley. That's an interesting little area right in there. Let's see how we're doing here. So we're getting down there, so we can start coming back on the power. And coming into LA. Now we can start seeing down to Long Beach, down to John Wayne Airport. It's going to be down in there. Here we're going over Whittier, Rose Hills. Don't remember Rose Hill. San Gabriel Valley. We just went back through went back through the sound barrier. South El Monte. What's that airport right there? I can't quite tell that. There's downtown LA. Now we'll come left. Right over there is downtown Los Angeles. And we'll come around, we'll land on the right runway at LAX. I don't know whether they call that the Los Angeles River right there. Bell. Let's see what the name of that is. Maywood. I don't remember Maywood. Huntington Park. I remember that. And of course, these are little cheaters. Help me. Keeps me honest. Keeps me honest. And then we'll have to spot LAX now. Yeah, I think I got it spotted. Downtown LA right there. And maybe LAX is right over here. Except the line is right to our left. So let's get the chart up. Come in with a little power. Yeah, it's just to our left. Yeah, okay, I can see it now. Here's the runway right over here, right in front of us. And we'll look for Hawthorne Airport. There's Jack Northrop Hawthorne Airport is right there. That's where we landed last time. And we'll get our gear down, notch a flap. Yeah, it's just got two positions on the flap. And we're all set there, so we'll get this out of the way. Here's the our satellite shot of this area is a little old, but this is SoFi Stadium. That's where it is right there. It was just beginning construction when they took this. They call these Bing maps, is what Microsoft uses to do the flight simulator. That was SoFi Stadium. That's Inglewood. Yeah, there's Inglewood. I used to live in Inglewood, right there. And we'll get in here behind. Getting a little low, customary. We'll just sneak into the right runway here. We'll look back and see if anybody's on our tail. Look, there's somebody right on our tail. Let's see if they're the same runway. Here, we'll skip over one. See if that gets out of their way. Let's look again. Yeah, they were going to the right runway. And get it settled down here. Got somebody ahead of us. Go ahead and put on the brakes. We should have somebody landing right next to us here. Well, you don't see where they went. Oh, that should do it for us. Just stick it in here. Looks like it's a bus terminal. I'll get out here far enough to watch the aircraft coming and landing. Okay, go inside. Turn it off. And we'll watch for any more traffic landing. I don't see any. Let's see if anything's taxiing in. Here comes somebody taxiing along. There's one just landed. Okay. There was one behind us that I don't know what happened to him. But again, this is a simulation, so anything can happen. Here we're at 120 feet above sea level. Up that way is where the fires were, up toward Malibu, and we should be able to say, okay, there, Marina Del Rey was just above LAX, but it was down south. There was another marina that was down closer to Torrance and just below Manhattan Beach, down in there. There's another marina. Let's see if it pops up here. Yeah, El Potrero. No, we're not close enough. Okay, that's enough of that. Thanks for riding along. Adios.